Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight I have found two major flaws in the opposition's case. Firstly, the opposition said that it is an environmental issue due to greenhouse emissions from the factories making books. What the opposition are forgetting is that e-books also need to be made somewhere in factories. We are letting out the exact same emissions when creating real books and e-books. The opposition also said that e-books are good for education. The problem our team has with this is, what about the constant pop-ups from things like Facebook and Twitter and all the other apps coming up on their iPads and e-books? Surely this cannot be good for the students' education when they are trying to learn in class or study at home. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we have a debate that in essence comes down to a very simple concept: the art of storytelling. The issue of e-readers versus traditional books is not just an economic one, it is a social one. And to this note, I have 3 points. The first being that e-readers limit our potential to share books. Secondly, that e-readers simply aren't as proficient in delivering a story. And finally, that with e-readers, publishers and advertisers are gathering our private information about us. On to my first point, that e-readers limit our potential to share books. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the everlasting traits of human race is our love and need to share stories. Originally through word of mouth, and now through print. Humans love to share stories. And one of the greatest ways we have been able to do this is by passing around a printed book to our friends and family. A study done by the Publishing Research Consortium found that the average book is read by 4 people. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a testament to our love of sharing novels. E-readers limit our ability to do this. You can lend a book to someone, but it is much more difficult to lend an e-reader. At the end of the day, the most important part of the story is its ability to bring us together. And e-readers limit this beautiful art. On to my second point, that e-readers are not as proficient in delivering a story. E-readers, especially iPads and other tablets, are almost constantly linked to Facebook, Twitter, and 101 other apps. There is always cause to be distracted when reading on an e-reader. When hearing a story, it is crucial that you become engrossed, that you give it your full attention. When we go to a movie, you turn off your phone. This is for a good reason, because using your phone when in a movie limits the experience. It limits our ability to immerse ourselves in the story. How can we be expected to fully follow a story when we are linked to Facebook and Twitter, trying to follow Kim Kardashian's tweets of over 140 characters or less, while trying to read the Harry Potter series, which has over 1 million beautifully crafted and considered words? The two platforms of the internet and books simply do not mix. And therefore, e-readers will never be as good as traditional books. On to my final point, that through e-readers, publishers and advertisers are gathering private information about us. Ladies and gentlemen, when you read with an e-reader, this information is being collected. They are gathering information as to how long you read, what you read, even whether you skip to the end of the book before you're finished. Publishers and advertisers are gathering this information to find a way in which they can squeeze more money out of the average consumer. The Publishing Research Consortium has predicted that within the next 12 to 18 months, e-books will contain advertisements similar to that on TV. However, in this instance, it will be that when you reach a certain page, an advert will play. This will ruin the beauty of reading. There has not only been consumer outrage to this advertising movement, but many authors have also publicly said that they would hate to have advertisements in their books. Clearly, we must keep advertisements out of our reading. And the surest way to do this is to pick up a traditional book. In conclusion, it is clear that e-readers are inferior to traditional books. This is for three main reasons. The first being that e-readers limit our potential to share books. Secondly, that e-readers simply aren't as proficient in delivering a story. And finally, that publishers and advertisers are gathering private information about us through the e-books. Ladies and gentlemen, all this debate comes down to is whether we are interested in keeping the art of storytelling alive.